What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about the man in the title, Mr. Warren Gatland. There's news of him being linked to other coaching jobs. Obviously it's not a new rumour, but there is one latest rumour that was recently mentioned a couple of days ago that I want to chat about. But before we get into the topic, I want to pay tribute to this man because he truly is a remarkable coach, a leader, and he's really achieved such great things with Wales, and I think we're not giving him the credit that he is due, because I know for a fact he went under a lot of criticism during the time Wales was struggling, during some of the Lions games. He got a lot of flack from a lot of people, and I think a lot of those people have gone either silent or are now singing his praises, and I feel that this guy deserves a lot of praise for what he's achieved, because it's really been remarkable. 14 wins in a row with Wales. Grand Slam Six Nations champions, now being talked about as contenders for the Rugby World Cup. Not quite winners, but definitely contenders, and rightly so. They've come a long way, they really have. 2 years ago we wouldn't have compared Wales rugby in situations like this, because they just weren't that competitive, if you know what I mean. They were always a threat, but they weren't on that level. It was more the Ireland and the Englands that we would be talking about, and not quite Wales. So I think the fact that we are now, the tides have changed. It's all now Wales, and I think it was such a hype about Ireland last year, and I think Wales deserved that exact same credit and hype that Ireland got last year, because they've achieved a lot. They've come a long way, and to have won all their games, and yes, some games they're pretty, but they still picked up wins, and I think that is such a key in this whole season going forward, because the World Cup is right around the corner, and where better to peak than by just winning your championship and looking good and becoming the new number 2 in the world. They've really come a long way and shown a lot of class and talent, and for that I give Gatland and his fantastic squad a lot of praise and credit, because it truly is remarkable. Now, if you haven't seen it already, make sure you head over to the 1014 Rugby channel and watch the interview that the boys had with Warren Gatland. An absolutely amazing video, so make sure you go check that out after you've watched this one, please. But because he says a lot of things in that video, and one thing that pointed out for me was the fact that he wants to go back home and coach. Meaning he wants to go back to New Zealand and coach the New Zealand side, be it Super Rugby, club, or provincial level, and who knows, maybe even the big job. Now obviously there's a lot of talk, because who could be the next All Black coach, as Steve Hansen is retiring after this Rugby World Cup. So there's all that talk, and I mean the quality of coaches that we have that they have in New Zealand is remarkable. And now you're adding Warren Gatland to this picture, it's even more remarkable. It's actually quite terrifying if you're an opposition. But there's a lot of talk of who it could be, and I mean, no one's really given out their favourites yet. But Warren Gatland has obviously expressed that he wants to coach back in New Zealand and all that jazz. So obviously, New Zealand job, or All Black coaching job, is definitely on the cards if it's offered. Then there was talk of him maybe coaching Australia, because we all know that the camp with Michael Cheika isn't that hot at the moment, and he could be gone after the Rugby World Cup. So we're going to need a new coach there. England, there's talk of Eddie Jones maybe going, and all that stuff. But then recently we've heard of France maybe looking at Mr. Gatland himself for a future coaching role. So we could actually see Warren Gatland back in the Six Nations, just for a different team. I think Jones said that I wouldn't count out him coming back next year in the Six Nations for possible England job, if I'm not mistaken. And that's Alan Wayne Jones. So it's an interesting topic to talk about. But now I want to throw another one in the cards, because after this Rugby World Cup, Rassie Erasmus is leaving, and he's going to follow his role as director of Springbok Rugby and not be the head coach. So that job's also open the line. So come to the Southern Hemisphere too, and I will be more than happy to have you as my coach, Mr. Gatland, because I have tons of respect for you, and I think you could do a very interesting job. And we haven't had a foreign coach ever. I know Eddie Jones has assisted and all that stuff, so it'll be interesting to see what comes about having someone different from New Zealand or wherever it may be to coach the Springboks. So from my side, I'm quite excited, and I hope South Africa gets thrown into this hat of where Mr. Warren Gatland will go. I personally think he's going to stick with New Zealand. I don't quite see him going to France, but who knows? France really need help. They need a bit of a wake-up. They need a new system in place. And I mean, look what Warren did with Wales. This could be a good opportunity for him, for France maybe, but who knows? But I think it's going to be between England and New Zealand, in my opinion. I just see that as two massive positions where he could take this team to a possible World Cup final or championship wins, be it this new Nations Championship, or be it the Six Nations Rugby Championship. There's a lot in store for him, and I think if given the opportunity, he could be an absolutely incredible coach for either England or New Zealand. And I think the dream would be going back to New Zealand and coaching his home nation, which I think will be so deserved and awesome for him to end off his career. That's if he does end it off. But it will be an interesting situation, and I think what he's achieved has really been remarkable and definitely earned him the right to coach his home nation, in my humble opinion. Obviously, we're all entitled to the opinions. I know there's a few negatives out there who saying, oh, Wales were lucky and all that jazz. They won. They're undefeated. It's just skill. It's coming back. It is proving critics wrong. It is holding out that full 80 minutes. Those were the keys that brought Wales this championship. They were down 14-0 against France. They came back in a remarkable fashion and won. They were down against England. They came back and won. They beat Ireland. They beat Scotland. They beat Italy. Again, maybe certain games weren't the hottest, but a win is a win. A championship is a championship, and to go 14 games undefeated is truly remarkable, remembering who they played. So I think that's truly brilliant, and again, credit and congratulations to Wales on that amazing victory. I'm excited to really see how this World Cup's going to play out, and I'm also excited to see what's going to happen, because all I'm hearing in the news is the exodus of rugby players going overseas. I did a video on New Zealand rugby players going overseas. I'm possibly going to do one on South Africa, because we have got a hell of a lot of players that are planning to leave to go play overseas. There's talks of the provincial teams maybe pulling out of Super Rugby and all that jazz. So there's a lot of drama being spoken about. Super Rugby's obviously in the news because of the Sunwolves getting kicked out. Pro 14s wanting to extend. There's a lot of stuff going on in World Rugby, and it's not all positive news, but it is interesting news and definitely a topic to chat about. So if you have any ideas of all these talks and rumours and dramas and all that stuff, let me know. Let me know in the comment section of what you want me to share my thoughts on. But probably going to be chatting about South Africa real soon again, as that is my home country. But there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of players leaving and all that stuff, so I'm very curious to see how it all plans out. After this World Cup, it's going to be the most interesting time for World Rugby. I really believe that, because you've got the Nations Championship that's been spoken about. There are a lot of people that are happy and not happy about it, so there's a lot of drama, which means there's a lot of content. So I'm disappointed for the drama, but happy for the content, because it is needed. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed and tuned into this channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. I will be restarting the Super Rugby and Pro 14 soon. It's just been a bit hectic, but we are getting back on track and getting things ready. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree? Or about the whole Gatland story about going to France or going to England or going to wherever it may be. Let me know your thoughts. Where do you want him to go? Obviously I want him to come to South Africa, but I don't see that being on the cards. So for his sake, I hope he goes to get the head job for New Zealand. I think he's definitely a deserved contender for that, but we'll have to wait and see. That's all up to New Zealand Rugby to decide. So exciting times ahead. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.